I'm Melissa.
And I'm Lisa.
We're realtors in the Shenandoah Valley.
We love where we live, and we can't wait to show you.
Welcome to the channel.
We are with Connor Gillespie, who's the Director of Outreach here at the Wildlife Center of Virginia. I know how busy the month of May is because we were talking about this just before we started, so we just want to thank you for taking time to speak with us about what you do here.
Yeah, no
so
problem.
that kind of leads me to my first question, because when I first moved here, I didn't know about you. And I thought if people start, moving here and they want to get involved, or they find that there's an injured animal on their property, what they do. So can you tell us a little bit more about Wildlife Center of Virginia?
Yeah, and I'm really glad you brought that up, because we're nestled here kind of right in the middle of Jefferson, Washington National Forest.
Okay.
We're kind of tucked away, but we're right here in Waynesboro. And for a lot of people that are moving here, they might not know that we're a local resource. We're a wildlife hospital. So we're here to treat anytime someone finds a wild animal that is injured or sick or orphaned. We're here so we can take it in, provide treatment to that animal, and hopefully get it better so we can get it out in the wild where it belongs. We don't want them to have to stay here. We want to get them back out in the wild.
Right.
And we see a lot of different animals, pretty much any native species. We can take in hummingbirds, all the way up to animals the size of adult black bears. So we work with a lot of different animals. And we see at this point, we're seeing close to 5,000 animals every year.
5,000?
Yep, 5,000.
That's a lot.
And they're animals that are, hit by cars, getting caught in netting, colliding with windows. These various reasons that they're coming to us. So we're trying to give them a second chance by giving them that treatment so they get back out there.
Do you recommend people if they see an injured animal, do you recommend they bring it, or should they call and get advice on the best way to manage that animal, or does it depend on the animal?
Usually calling first is great, because we can help people work through if that animal truly needs help or if it doesn't need help. Because sometimes people aren't quite sure. They'll find a young animal they think is orphaned, but maybe it's not orphaned and it's just waiting for a mom to return. Or maybe it's an animal that's injured, but it's an adult bald eagle, and that's a little tricky to catch that animal and get it to us. So we'll walk them through what to do, what steps to take to capture if it does need help, and then where to take it, whether it's our center or maybe there's a closer resource as well.
So you're on the phone with people, kind of like crisis hotline for wild animals.
Yes, you can
Is
think of
that
it.
kind of what it would be like? And,
Yes.
and basically you walk them through, you ask various questions, and then you, in a way, have them assess over the phone for you, and then you determine, is that how that usually works?
We'll ask those questions to kind of get more info that we need. Depending on the situation, we might ask if they can send us a photo. That's also a great way for us to see exactly what they're seeing as well.
Sure.
And then based off that, that's where we'll give them the recommendation.
We have a lot of patients that come through here every day. I think right now we're seeing 20 to 40 patients a day. And that's split between patients that have significant injuries that need to be seen directly by the vet team versus healthy orphans that are seen directly by our rehab team. So this is where the magic happens.
Do you have a story of maybe the most memorable patient that you ever encountered?
We had a great blue heron that came in with a fishing hook stuck through its wing. So I was able to remove the fishing hook and suture up or stitch up that wing. We let him heal for a few days and we released him. That was amazing. I was able to admit 2 of the first black bear cuts of the season. So that was very exciting. That's very fun. Foxes are always very exciting. The mammals are always really fun. But I'm a big fan of possums, so every possum that comes through is a special day for me, which is truly every day now.
Try to raise it and release it.
So you're kind of hands off, the cute little cottontails, huh?
Yeah, they're hands off because they are actually very, very high stress species.
Oh, sure.
Really?
So yeah, they can develop stress-related health issues very easily, and so and that's a lot of the patients. So we're here to help them, but they don't necessarily know that.
Right.
So
So they're under stress.
Yeah, they're under stress. They look at us as predators. So when they're here, we're as hands-off as possible. We're just trying to, when we handle them, it's just to get them their medication or their treatment, and then we get them right back in their enclosure so that they can de-stress and hopefully let that treatment, and rest do its thing and help that animal recover. And everything that,
She did. She was right there.
She knows where the food comes from.
everything we do with them is voluntary too. So like, you know, what Haley's doing now is like great practice for a program.
Wow.
But if they ever say, you know, no thank you, I don't want to come out for a program today, well, that's okay. We'll just ask another one of our animals.
Okay. All right.
The animals have the choice.
Yes, exactly.
All right, Connor, you told us about the main 5. Tell us about the one animal everyone wants to know about, and that is bears.
Yes, so right now we've got one black bear in care
Okay.
as a cub. And we're actually the only facility in the state that can raise orphan bear cubs.
Okay.
So this little one was actually rescued because she'd been found alone, and she was at this campsite just eating leftovers she found on the ground. And you know, they kind of waited to see if mom would come and take her, but mom never came around, so we're assuming that she had been orphaned. And the biologist brought her to us, and so we started caring for her. And raising bears is a bit different than raising some of our other wildlife.
yeah.
For one, it's a long-term commitment. In the wild, a bear cub will stay with their mom for about a year before they're ready to
Okay.
go off on their own.
Oh, wow.
So they're going to stay with us for a full year as well as they're growing up
So
and developing.
You'll release it. That's the intention, is to release it.
Yep, since
Okay.
we've started our orphan bear program, I think we've released now more than 150 black bears back to the wild.
Wow.
They all come to us as little cubs for one reason or another, and during their time here, they'll grow up, they'll learn, you know, they'll develop their climbing skills, they'll learn how to forage, how to be a wild bear.
Wow.
And a lot of the care we do is pretty hands-off because we want to make sure they
Oh,
stay
yeah.
Yeah,
wild
you don't-
and they're not habituated to humans or anything like that. And then usually the following spring after they're admitted, that's when we'll get to say goodbye and send them back to the wild.
Connor, how can people support you and the Wildlife Center of Virginia?
There are a couple of different ways people can support our center. You know, one is through donations. We are a nonprofit, so behind every single animal that we treat and release, there's someone who's donated to make that happen, which is really heartwarming to me that we've gotten such community support for what we're doing here to help wildlife. But if people want to have a more hands-on approach, rather than donating, they can also donate their time as volunteers. You know, they can volunteer as a transporter or rescuer for wildlife to help get
Okay.
these animals to our center. Or they can volunteer here in our hospital, you know, helping to, you know, clean all the different enclosures, provide diets for the animals, or sometimes even hands-on helping our veterinary team with the treatments as well. For anyone that is interested in learning more about our center, is check out our website. You know, we've got a lot of great information there, wildlifecenter.org.
Perfect.
There's our events page, so you can see all the events that are coming up. Maybe you want to come out and see us in person,
Okay.
whether we're going out in the community or have open houses where people can come to us.
Okay.
And then, of course, subscribe to our newsletter. It's sent out every 2 weeks, and it's a great way to see what's going on at the Wildlife Center. It's always a fun read, and there's some great advice and information there about, you know, how to help wildlife as well. And the best part, I'll say, like the happiest moment is when one of the patients we've been treating is ready for release. In most cases, what we'll do is we'll call up that person that brought it to us, and they get the chance to release that animal themselves. So you know, it's a pay it forward. They were kind enough to help that animal, bring it to our center, and make sure it got the care it needed.
Yeah,
so
that's so nice.
then
I
they
love
can
that.
take it back to the wild and release it and
Yeah.
see it full circle.
Oh, that's really nice.
That is.
That's nice.
Memorable for all
I
involved.
know,
right?
I know, and you get to come see it better and healthy and ready to go.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. This is great.
No problem.